Hi, I am the Box Office Wizard, bringing you weekend box office predictions and movie review. Hey, for today's show, I'm going to review what the box office did over this past weekend. I got the actual numbers in, and also give you a movie update on Ben Affleck's solo Batman movie, and also the Friday the 13th and the Halloween movie series franchise, and also a quick update on Finding Dory. Number one this weekend was the movie The Accountant. No surprise there. This movie had a big weekend. It beat studio estimates. It came in at $24.7 million. I had made an estimate of $20.8 million, and I was actually high compared to the other experts. Most of them only had it in the around 16, 17 million tops. So really surprised when I saw their numbers that they had actually went that low on it. So I felt good about that guess or prediction when I had made it, and I even went higher than that. So it's off to a great start. Only has a $44 million budget, so this movie's off to a great start. It's going to make some money. I think it's already pulled in like a couple million overseas. I think it was $3 million last time I had checked. So coming in at number two was actually The Girl on the Train. Kind of a surprise there. It came in at $12.2 million. I made a prediction of 13.1. So this movie's had another good weekend. People are still going to see it. And finishing in third was Kevin Hart, What Now? And that was the movie about his live performance. Actually made $11.8 million. I made a prediction of $14.8 million. Obviously, I was a little bit off there. Overall, though, this movie probably performed about as expected. Only had a $10 million budget, so it's already going to be making a lot of money, just based on where it's probably going to finish. Probably about $30 million range if I had to guess at this point. So, finishing in fourth was Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. Came in at just under $9 million for the weekend. I made a prediction of $9.2 million, so I was right there on it. It's now made $66 million here in the U.S. and $130 million overseas, so it's doing very well. $110 million budget, starting to see a nice return on its the money that was spent to make this movie. So this movie is it's still got several weeks in the theater, and it's probably got plenty of openings to still do overseas. So finishing in fifth place was Deepwater Horizon. Came in at $6.4 million. I was real close at $6.9 million on this movie. It's now just under $50 million here in the U.S. It's only pulled in $28 million overseas, so this movie is struggling. I'm venturing to guess that they're probably not going to make a dime off this movie because they do have a $110 million budget for it as well. Finishing in sixth place was Storks at $5.7 million. I was a little bit off on this. At $4.3 was my prediction. It's now made $60 million here in the U.S., $130 million worldwide. So on a $70 million budget, they're doing very well with this movie. So next was Magnificent Seven, at $5.2 million. I was right there on it at $5.3 million was my prediction. It's now made $85 million here in the U.S. and $149 million worldwide. So very well. This movie should be winding down here in the next few weeks. It's probably got about 2 or 3 weeks left in the theater. Maybe 4 tops before you see it at Cinemark, those kind of the Movies 8 franchise or theaters and those kind of things. So, eighth place was Middle School. Came in at $4.3 million. I made a prediction of 4.2. It's right there on it with this. It's now only made about $14 million here in the U.S. It's got a very low budget though. I think it was like just right at $9 million if I remember right. So it may make a little bit of money. It's going to be hard to say, but this franchise will probably have to figure something else out. I don't even know how many books are in the series. I venture to guess there's at least 3, since most middle schools are three grades. So, but just have to wait and see. Finished in ninth place was Birth of a Nation. Actually, it finished 10th this weekend. Was one of that I made a prediction on, and it came in at only $2.7 million. This movie's really struggling. I made a prediction of $4.2 million. It's only made $12 million here in the U.S. And right now, I actually read an article in Entertainment Weekly that this movie is basically dropped from Oscar consideration just because of the Nate Parker accusations that came up again. I'm not sure how that affects the movie since he was found innocent. At the same time though, the controversy with it, with the actor, unfortunately it does hurt it in some way. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens over the next few months if it does actually garner a Best Picture nomination. And round out the top 10 of who I made prediction on was Max Steel. It just basically imploded. I knew it was going to be a struggle. I had made a prediction of $3.1 million. and it actually finished 11th place, and it only came in at 2.2 million. So, you know, this movie just had awful written all over it. So, and it basically just did not do anything. Next segment of my show is Beat the Expert. This is where I compare myself to other experts to see how well I do making predictions against those. For the week, I finished in first at 81.8%. Second place was Box Office Profits at 79.2%. Box Office Pro was at 77.9%, and Box Office Mojo finished at 77.5%. So I had a very good week, and overall I still retain my lead for the year at 82.25%, with Box Office Pro in second at 81.41%. So I increased it just a little bit, not much, but you know, only got a couple months left before that will wind down, and I'm looking forward to hopefully having the title of beating the other experts. So, movie news real quick. Finding Dory actually crossed the $1 billion mark worldwide. It actually did it last weekend, and I just saw it this week. So, great news on that. Obviously, there will be another Finding something in the future. They did obviously space them very far apart, so just have to wait and see what that will be. Next, Ben Affleck actually came out talking about his Batman solo movie, and as of right now, he's going to call the movie The Batman. So just have to wait and see if that's the title that they do finish with. He's going to kind of wait and see what the reaction to it is, see if maybe he needs to change it down the road. I'm not against it because I read Detective Comics a lot, and that's a lot of the old comics actually call it the Batman. So not against it. You know, and it may be good to, you know, if he's going to get back to some roots, or just kind of go more with the old storylines versus what's been new. Just have to wait and see. So, also, movie news on Friday the 13th franchise. This movie is actually going to come out next year. In case you don't know, they've rebooted it, and it's going to come out next year on Friday the 13th. It will be the 13th movie on October 13th, 2017. So, kind of neat that they're doing that. It's going to be a true Friday the 13th, so great to hear that. Also on the same front, the Halloween franchise was rebooted, in case you didn't know that as well. And it's going to be coming out next October in 2017 as well. Don't have an exact date yet. I doubt they'll do it on Friday the 13th, because that would be direct competition. But either way, though, we got 2 new movies coming out for each franchise. Love these, both of them. So I'm looking very much to seeing these when they do come out next year. Hey, that's it for today's show. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll be back on Friday giving you predictions that you can count on. They're better than the weatherman. Take care.